End of Kenny sitting down. All right, so this is session 4, and it is what is happening right now? I heard an Xbox turn on.
Yeah, and it was like the start of an ad.
Oh, you did it. You did it.
I was trying to turn it off and it was
Okay,
weird.
was I wrong about that? I didn't think they ran ads on non-affiliate channels because I thought it was a way to monetize.
Oh, they totally
the
run
channel
ads on my account.
streamer.
Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, you're coming through loud and clear. I heard Courtney twice. Okay, so last week we had us a nice little shindig, little fisticuffs, a little. And I'm trying to be clever right now, but I'm just going to get down to brass tacks. Last week, you all agreed to help the Arena and her brother bury their father. You spent the night in their home. You actually, when you went to bury them, you were confronted once again by Strahd. When you went to bury him, I should say, not them. When you went to bury him, you were confronted once again by Strahd. Putting up a valiant effort once again. You all, whether you chased him off or you just merely annoyed him before leaving, that remains to be seen. But he did go. You all spent the night after burying her father, their father in their home, where you saw the march of spirits coming down the road. To which Arena explained to you those were the souls of past adventurers who tried to take out Strahd, marching to their deaths each and every night for eternity. You all decided to, once the morning broke, you made your way to the Mercantile, the general store, where you were greeted with Bildrath and his nephew. Bildrath, this apparently charges a little more than what your warlock decided that he wanted to pay, and that anybody was really comfortable with paying. And he immediately went outside and set the building on fire, throwing Bildrath and Periwinkle into a panic, to which they fortunately found some kinder souls in Barovia to help them put out the fire. Now, while that was going on, you all met not a young man, but you all met a strange man dressed in brightly colored clothes. Does anybody remember what his name is?
Give me a second. Oops. I got
Ricky.
it.
Yes.
Radu.
Yeah. But Radu, a strange fellow as he is, was very, very, very quick to greet each of you. Was very nice, but was a little touchy, a little creepy. And some of you, if not all of you, have found certain items missing. Nothing really of worth, like gold or gems or weapons, but maybe personal things. Things that you might find valuable. After that, you made your way to the church to investigate the scream that you heard the night before. There you found the priest, who was not harboring, but holding captive his own son for a year. Who was now a vampire spawn. He had not fed in a year. He was starving, but his constant screams were actually driving the father mad. After taking a few slugs from his wineskin, he was competent and coherent enough to tell you all their story, and being the kind people that you are, you actually help recapture his son and put him back in his prison, in hopes that one day he will be cured of his vampirism. And Jacob, I don't know if I gave it to you last time, but because of your idea, I want you to go ahead and take a point of inspiration for me.
I do have a quick question.
Sure.
We did not take a long rest at the end of last session. Correct?
Not yet, but
okay.
If that is something that you all wanted to do, we can rectify that now. Because after that, you all were making your way back to Irina's house, and then going from there.
Actually, you trying to.
Hey guys, let me.
Pardon?
I'm trying. Do I regain mine on my spell slots on a long rest? Correct.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what I thought. I know that there are some classes that get it back on a short rest.
Lean in a little more to your microphone if you don't care, so I can hear you. Sorry.
You're good. There, I just upped my gain a little bit too. But I knew that there were some classes that got it back on a short rest. I couldn't remember what.
Sure.
If I was one of those.
Yes. Actually, yes. We'll just go from there.
Okay.
Ismark and Irina invite you back to their home once again, and they give you the same spaces that you had. And you had some simple food for your meals to allow you to rest up before leaving for the next day. You have your gear that you purchased. You have your you don't have any mounts or wagons because there's not any mounts to purchase really, unless you want to try to purchase some from some of the townspeople. But chances are they're not going to sell. But you're pretty much geared up for the long haul the next day if you so choose. So is that what we're doing? We're going back to their house to take a rest. Okay, so everybody go ahead and mark off a long rest on your sheets or your D&D Beyond or whatever you're using. We'll make sure to tell Kenny when he gets back that Enoch gets a long rest as well. Once again, those of you who are...
Courtney, to answer your question from earlier that you were talking about, she's in a lot of pain. They're in the hospital. Charlotte should be here soon.
Do I need to call anybody?
No. My two best friends their baby is due at the end of the month, and one of them just texted me and said, "I'm not going to be on Xbox tonight."
Oh,
I'm like, is everything okay? And he goes, "Yeah, we're at the hospital. Charlotte should be here soon."
Gotcha. Okay, well, congratulations to them. That's really exciting, actually. But back to vampires and all things creepy, and rolling dice. But yeah, that's awesome though. That's congratulate. What's their name? What's their names?
Ian and Christine Fennel.
Congratulations, Ian and Christine. Name it after me. Ron.
Charlotte.
Those of you who stay awake a little while, whether it be oiling weapons, sharpening swords, preparing spells, or just looking out the window, you are once again greeted with the ghostly procession that comes from the graveyard at midnight and marches its way to Castle Ravenloft on the stormy hills that lie beyond the church, behind the church. Unfortunately, it's now a normal sight for you. Maybe. It still gives you, maybe some of you, a few chills. Some of you may be used to seeing things like that.
You're talking about the procession.
The
correct?
procession. Mm-hmm.
Watching it.
You're watching it?
Do I? Yeah, because I would take my 4 hours of sleep before,
Correct.
and then I'd be up in time for it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the exact same group as it was the night before?
You don't even really have to make a check for that because, yes, you can tell that it is the exact same group.
Okay.
All with those sullen looks on their faces or battle cries or, just looks of either sadness, anguish, or anger, marching their way back to Castle Ravenloft to their doom and once again. Who was it that had the dream?
I had a dream.
Yep. Ellen Till.
About the woman in that was me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Type.
Ellen Till, in your 4 hours of rest, you once again have a fitful dream, more of a daydream for you at this point, because you don't so much sleep as you do meditate and relax, and you could say sleep. But once again, you see the same mansion, and you're taken inside to a bedroom and lying in the bed in this bedroom. As you look around, you see that the curtains are drawn. It's dark. There are cracks in the floors and the walls, but everything seems quiet and normal even for that. Lying in the bed, you see a woman with what looks like a mannequin. Off to the right of this bed, you see a door, and once again behind it you hear the sounds of a cat and scratching on the other side. You turn around once again, and beyond the bed, what wasn't there and is now is a distinctive wedding dress, the one you saw before, but it's on display. And as you blink, trying to catch your bearings, it's almost as if it jumps in front of your eyes. The dress is no longer on display on a mannequin, on a bust. It is now being worn by a woman with white powdered skin once again, and she looks pleased. And with that, you wake up.
Okay. Just out of curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Does this woman look like Arena?
No, it does not. You've never seen this woman before.
I want to go to Mad Maggie's.
Okay. Now? In the night?
That's not her name, is it? Mad Maggie's from Avernus, isn't it?
That is Mad Maggie. Yeah. Yes, it is from Avernus. Sorry. I knew what I was picking up what you were putting down. What is her freaking name?
Mary.
Mad Mary. Yeah.
I love digital notes. Control F. I just typed in the word mad and it pulled it up.
Yes. Love it. You want to go now or in the morning?
In the morning.
Okay.
I was about to say, don't wake me up from my sleep.
You're probably... What race are you?
She's an elf.
Oh, I'm a high elf. Never mind.
I was going to say, you're either awake with me or you waited until I woke up to go to sleep.
Canonically, you just slept. You're the elf that just sleeps. Like, I know I can do whatever, but I'm going to sleep.
That is Courtney through and through.
It is. The rest of you have as good a night as you can in a place like this of rest. Each of you wake up. Long rest. You get your HP, your spell slots, everything back. You're greeted by what could be called sunrise in Barovia. It just gets a little less gray out. A little less dark and a little less gray. Irina and Isval, they both greet you with just a simple breakfast and some, once again, some dark ale. And they say, he looks at you and says, "Well, I guess it is time to get on the road. What say you all?"
I need to run one quick errand, and then we can go.
He looks very disappointed in you at this point. He's like, "What do you have to do that you could not do yesterday?"
I don't tell him. I just say it's important. It won't take more than 20 minutes. And I pull the only name that's coming to my brain is Mordu, which is the bear from Brave. Mulgar.
Mulgar.
That is okay, my friend. That is also my name.
Yeah, so I pull Mulgar over because we've been kind of working together, like trying to spot the raven and everything.
Oh yeah, we're best buds.
And once we're out of earshot of the rest of the party, I tell Mulgar about my dream. And I say, this woman doesn't look like anyone I've ever seen before. But what if it's Mad Mary? And
there's only one way to find out.
Yeah. So, and I tell him that I think we should go check out Mad Mary's place before we leave. Just see what we can find real quick, in and out type deal.
Question.
Real quick.
Wasn't Matt...
Go ahead.
Wasn't Mad Mary's like on the way to wherever we're going? I have to find it in the notes.
That is a valid question that deserves a look at the map.
Madam Eva's is on the way, like out of town. Mad Mary's is in town.
Mad Mary's is on the way to the main road.
Okay, so it really wouldn't take them long.
No.
My thought process here was the other Enoch, Kalen, and Elrin could stay behind, help make final preparations for the journey, and Mulgar and I could go do this and be back by the time they're ready.
What say the rest of the group here? Iskval is kind of perturbed, but he goes along with it. He's like, 20 minutes, and that's it. We're not taking the main road. We're cutting through the back, through this field, and we're hitting the main road from there. I do not want to draw any attention.
We'll meet you out front in 20 minutes.
Well, I do not want to draw any attention, more attention than what we already have, drawn on us. It is day. Be it day, they'll still come out. But I just want to go.
20 minutes, we'll be back here, ready to go.
Okay, we will resolve that in a second. Mulgar and Elentil, Kalen and Enoch and Elrin. What are you all doing? We'll go with Kalen first.
I figure helping finish setting up the carriage and everything.
There's no carriage. That's why he's so perturbed. He's like, let's just walk. Let's just go. But he's like,
not
well,
taking anything that we thought we were taking. Okay.
Let's just go through the packs again and make sure. And he starts taking his pack off and he's like, just double check your packs and I'll double check theirs. Did you all leave your packs behind?
Okay.
If he said that that he wanted that just to
Yeah,
double
as you're
check,
leaving,
make sure
he
we're
says
prepared.
that. Yeah.
I would have taken my pack off and anything from the church, I would have grabbed and put on my belt or anything.
Anything from the church?
From my church.
Oh,
not
your
the
church.
in
Okay.
town. Yeah,
I was like, I don't think y'all took anything from there.
I would leave mine as well. It seems sensible enough.
Okay. So Courtney, you're helping, or excuse me, Kaylin, you're helping look over the packs. Elrin, what are you doing?
Did we have horses or anything like that? Or were we
No
walking on
horses,
foot?
no carriages, are just going on foot.
I guess I'm gonna polish my boots.
Okay. Enoch, what are you doing?
I'm gonna step outside of the front door.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure no one's watching us.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check then. Can you not hear me?
Okay. I can.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're fine. 14.
14. Other than you seeing Mulgar and Ellentil walking down the road as you walk out, there's nothing really around. It's early yet, but even early morning in most villages would bring about workers, people, gathering their wares in wagons and taking to work or setting up their booths or whatever. You don't really see that here. It's just quiet. A couple of people peeking out of their window looking at Ellentil and Mulgar, but they quickly draw it.
Yep, that's all I'm doing until they get back here. Be on the lookout.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Is the raven outside, right?
Yeah.
Make a check.
And yeah, I would be looking as well.
Make a check.
And anytime we're outside,
Make a check
I'm looking for this bird.
at advantage.
All right, both times, the best I got was a 10.
You don't see it, actually. It's nowhere to be seen.
Starting to think that this may have just been a regular bird.
As you're walking up the road, the mud and muck squishes beneath your feet as you're walking through. Squishes. I'm painting word pictures with squish.
It's okay, I have no shoes.
You hear the mud beneath your feet, your booted feet. Mad Mary's is a little ways further than what you thought. But it's almost right next to Bildrath's. But you do see a dark 2-story townhouse. And the house, you can tell as you go, is barricaded. As you get closer, you can look and you see the windows are boarded up and everything. And as you get a little closer, maybe within spitting distance of the door, you can tell that the windows are boarded up and barricaded from the inside. You do hear this soft and mournful sob float through the air, and followed with another louder moan and wail of sadness, with another sob behind it. What do y'all want to do?
Okay.
Do we knock on the door?
Is there a way to get around the back?
There is, you can just walk around the back.
Is there a back entrance?
There is not. As you walk
Are there
your way
windows
around the
on
back, you are between two townhomes. The townhome's on the right, the townhome next to Mad Mary's, looks abandoned. The windows are broken out, boarded up. You don't really see any light or anything, which is not too uncommon here, but you don't see any light coming out of it. You make your way to the back, soft patches of brown grass everywhere, but mostly mud. There is no back door. There's a once used clothesline in the back, but it has since the rope is dry rotted and fallen. Everything is in disarray.
Okay. Windows or anything on the back?
Yes, but at closer examination, they are boarded up from the inside as well.
All right, so Mogar would look to Ellentil and be like, my friend, Are we going in by force, or are we trying to be courteous and knock on the door?
I think we knock.
Let's knock on that front door then.
Yeah.
Hello.
You make your way around front as you all have this discussion. You reach out and you knock vigorously, softly. What do you do? The cop knock, or do you knock like a person, like a salesperson? What?
But I just I do like a polite knock.
Okay. You wait a few seconds. Nothing. A little longer. Nothing. Nobody answers the door. You just
I try
hear
the
the sobbing and crying coming from inside.
I try the handle.
It is locked.
Okay. I think we go back around the back and we go in anyway.
Okay, well, I have a question. If we're gonna forceful entry, on the front door, how big is the crack at the bottom of the door?
Big enough for a mouse to get through.
Okay, then I would say 1 second, my friend. I'm gonna wild shape into a spider because I don't want to be a mouse.
Okay.
I crawl under the door.
Okay. You're inside. As you look around, even in your spider form, it's very dark in here. And in this, there is a great room, which is probably meant for dining, sitting, anything like. There's a cold stone fireplace off to your left that hasn't seen use in probably a very long time. Tables, broken chairs, just litter strewn about. This place has not been cleaned ever. Well, for a very long time. Old pots and different things like that are hanging on the wall towards a small kitchen. It's in disarray as well. Everything here is just falling apart. And now that you're in the house, the crying is a little louder.
Is it like close to the door, or is it in like a far?
It sounds like
room?
it's coming from upstairs.
Well, then I would turn back into the beautiful Goliath that I am, and I guess unlock the door.
Okay. Easy enough. It is kind of a bolt action thing that keeps the door from opening. It's a deadbolt. You pull it back. The light from the Barovian street streams in for a minute, and you just see dust in the air. Both of you all hear this crying coming from upstairs.
Just a heads up for you. I can see in both magical and non-magical darkness up to 120 feet.
Mm-hmm. For me or for him?
Yeah, for you.
Yeah. No, I'm aware.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got your stats. You see the exact same thing he does. There's nothing really in here.
Okay.
So we go upstairs.
I follow the sound of the crying.
Okay.
But I want to be I don't want to be like super obvious about it.
Off to the
Stealthy.
right, you see the stairwell that goes up and kind of banks or turns to the left, leading on upstairs.
Okay.
At one time, you could tell that this was a nice townhome. Probably a very nice town. Probably one of the nicer ones in this village. You make your way up the stairs slowly. Each stair seems to creak and moan and greet you as you come up in that nice Scooby-Doo haunted house way. You walk up and you hear the sobbing coming from the bedroom that is directly left of the top of the stairs, or what you think is it's a room. There's a long hallway.
I meant to ask this already. Does any of this look familiar?
No, you don't think so.
Okay.
Is that door open where the crying is coming from?
It is cracked open.
Can we peek through it?
Yeah. As you look in, you see a figure sitting on the floor of this bedroom. This figure you can tell dark hair spills out from underneath the hood of her cloak. The cloak is frayed and tattered and dirty. And she just sits there, rocking back and forth. in the center of the room and clutching what seems to be a doll and just crying, and pays you no mind as you look in.
I guess I would look at Ellington and whisper, like, does this look familiar to you?
Does she look at all like the woman in my dream?
You can't
From
really
what I
see her
can
face.
tell. Goodness. I'm really worried about what's going to happen when I do this. But I step into the room and move so that I can see her face.
As you walk in, each step sounds like thunder to you.
Mm-hmm.
Your heart is beating in your throat. You walk one step, two step, and as soon as you start to take your third step, BAM! You hear the window from outside get hit. And you hear the distinct call of a raven from the outside.
Oh my God.
But the figure
What
sitting
the-
on the floor makes no move. She continues rocking and crying. And as you peek down and look, you see a woman, a human woman, pale, gaunt, but probably no older than her mid-40s, late 40s, clutching at this doll, which looks to you to be malformed, paying you no mind, just sobbing and crying, and rocking back and forth.
Does she look like the woman from my dream?
She does not.
Okay. Then I get
Oh, yeah,
out
then
of there.
we're gone.
Yeah, like I'm out.
Okay. Y'all making your way downstairs then?
Yeah.
Okay. Out the door?
I do want to yeah, I would go out the door.
Okay.
And,
Mulgar, following?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
I tell I like the Raven.
Oh, yeah. Let me look for that raven. Is it there?
It is sitting on the windowsill, seemingly unharmed, and it looks you. And Mulgar, it looks at you almost like it's looking you dead in the eyes.
Yeah.
then-
I look at him and I'm like, "Can you talk to that bird?"
Calls twice
I could.
and flies away towards the main road and down the main road off out of Barovia, the village of Barovia.
Question.
Yes.
And this may be the exact same answer. Towards Madame Eva's?
You don't know.
Towards Strahd's?
You don't know.
It's not towards the direction that the castle's in.
That would be towards the church. No.
Okay, so it's not flying in that direction.
It is flying down Old Slavic Road.
So it's flying in the general direction that we've been informed
To
would
go.
take us to Madame
You
Eva's.
don't know where Madame Eva is, to be honest with you,
Okay.
because you've never been to this land. You know where
Yeah.
you know that you're supposed to be going to the Seer Pool, and you follow the Old Slavic Road. Yes, Enoch.
But we were told that she is on the way to Valaki.
She is
So that's the direction that we are supposed to be headed.
absolutely.
Okay. I look at Mulgar. I don't know why that name does not want to stay in my brain. But I look at Mulgar and I say, thank you for coming with me. She was not the woman in my dreams, so still no idea what that's about. No idea who she is.
I think we let her stay in the darkness.
Yeah, I think so too. And
Too scary for me.
Do you all make your way back to the other group?
I'm trying to think. Is there a way from the outside of the door to relock it?
No.
Okay.
It's a sliding bolt.
Oh, okay.
I just like to imagine Enoch standing out on the porch with a view down the walkway, down the road too. Just seeing you all wearing that going, yeah. Just shaking.
I am small child out of haunted house out that door.
Yeah, I'm laughing like as I'm watching this.
Mulgar going, nope, 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 nope. Just running out.
Like Three Stooges music.
Yeah. At that point, you all make your way back down the road to Irina and Iskval's house, and you're greeted there by the entire group as he has gathered all of you up and really wants to get going. Ismark. I keep saying Iskval, but it's Ismark. I need to write that in big letters in front of my face. Ismark looks at everyone and goes,
method and use sticky notes.
That's where the DM screen comes in handy, and I don't have it up.
Yeah.
Ismark looks at each of you and says, if that is it, I would like to go now.
It's like I look at him and I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's just go.
He actually
take my pack.
He hands each of you your pack. Mulgar and Ellentil, he hands you all your packs, and he looks at the remaining group. He looks at Kaelin and Elrin and Enoch, and he says, "Well, if we're ready, let's be on the way." Then he actually immediately, as he's looking at you, takes a left and starts walking through a field of a mixture of dead grass and weeds. And he goes, "This is the quickest way out of town. Please follow me. It leads us to the old Slavic road." And if you all are following, what you will find is basically just what I said: just dead grass, weeds, vines that are just kind of sticking up out of the ground. If you follow his path that he's making, that he's kind of trailblazing through this, you'll be, you see his footprints and where he's walking. It's not a big deal. From there, you actually, you walk probably a couple hundred feet, if not a little bit more, and you are greeted with another road. The same kind of road that you all traveled into Barovia. In fact, it is the same road that you traveled into Barovia, the old Slavic road. A little ways down the road, you all continue walking. You see the woods on your right, and then to your left is more of that open field. And you hear the sound of a river flowing in the distance a little ways. Ismark doesn't say much. He just continues walking. Irina, right by his side.
I asked Mulgar if he knows Druidcraft.
Mulgar, do you know Druidcraft?
Unfortunately, my friend, today I do not know that spell.
Today.
My thought is I want to find out what would happen if you were to grow something new here. If it would grow like a normal plant would, or if it would magically wither and die like everything else that seems to be natural here.
No, Margar would definitely say, I don't think I know that. You can think of me as more destructive, like fire, for example.
3/4 of the
Give him a
way.
high five.
You walk about a half a mile, maybe 3/4 of a mile. Well, you walk about a half a mile. The woods on on the right are growing a little closer, but not very. They're still a ways off. There are a few dense and dead trees that are littering the field that is coming up from the woods. And there, loud and proud as, just plain as day, sitting on a dead branch, is a raven. Looking at each of you traveling, walking.
How far away did you say it was?
From you, probably about 70 feet, 75 feet. It looks...
I nudge him and I'm like, like, and this is exactly as coherent as it's coming out of Elentiel's mouth. I'm like, talk to the bird.
It almost looks at each of you like it's like it's looking at each of you individually as you travel down the line, and it gives you each, or not gives you each, but it gives one of those bird head shakes where it ruffles its feathers and lets out a loud caw and lights up into the air and follows the road. You see it just fly off down the road the way that you're going.
I am keeping a very strict, keen eye out for that raven.
Okay. No problem.
70 feet was just a little too far, mate, for me to try to talk to something. I think, personally.
It's up to you. As you all travel on a little more, you've traveled almost a mile now. So it's not very long. You are greeted with a river that's flowing off to your left. Coming up the road, you see that there is a bridge that is crossing over it. This river, as you look at it, flows clear and as blue as a winter sky through the valley. This river is beautiful. It's probably about 50 feet wide of a river. Now there's an arching, as I said, as you continue walking, there's an arching stone bridge that spans over the river this way. Ismark and Irina really pay no attention to anything. Ismark is actually, he's got his head on and he's ready to go. He gets to the foot of the bridge and he looks at each of you and says, "From here, we're on our own. We're going on the road through the Slavic woods. Now, if you came into Barovia, you've already been through the Slavic woods. And you know the dangers that lie there. So I'm telling you now, please keep your head on a swivel. Watch after my sister." And you just see Irina just kind of elbow him. I can take care of myself, brother. And he just shakes his head and says, "Remember, this is what we're here to do, is take her to Vallaki." And you just see her frown a little. "Can we just go?" And then he turns around and he makes his way across this bridge, this stone bridge. As you cross this bridge, you can't help once again notice how beautiful this river is. It's a stark contrast to this land that's around you. But as you cross this arching bridge, the woods kind of come in on either side of the road. The river cuts through the woods off to your right. And he looks at Ismark looks back and says, "We don't have much time to waste. It will take a long time to get to Vallaki. So please, let's go. Let's pick it up." And he continues walking. I need to know, well, usually we're going to pick our marching order right now. and I'm just going to assume that's your permanent marching order unless you tell me differently. So I need to know who's following Ismark.
I'm going to be like right with Arena. Like,
Okay, so you're
within
right behind
arm's
him.
reach,
Sure.
basically at all times.
I'll take the back.
You second? Okay, who's third?
No, I'm in the back.
Oh, you're in the back. I'm sorry, I thought you said second. Who's second? Okay, very good. So Elrin's second. That leaves us with Mulgar and Kalen.
Mogar would like to be more in the middle, so I guess third or fourth, either or.
Okay.
Okay,
Kalen?
so you can be before me, and then I'll be in front of
Enoch?
Enoch.
Okay.
Yep.
We got this in the back.
Woo!
Cool people in the back. Woo, woo.
It's now. Oh dear! It's my high school bus.
Yes, near the front.
You all continue walking down this dark road. The woods kind of blocking out whatever natural light there is. You don't want to really say sunlight. You walk for miles, a couple of miles down this road. As you're walking, ahead of you, Ismark and Irina both kind of stop and look. And Elentil, you're up front, so you would notice that there is a figure lying in the road 50 feet ahead of you.
My great sword is on my back, and instinctively my hand goes for the handle, but I don't draw it.
Ismark looks at you and says, It is not beyond normal to find dead bodies on the road here. But it is also not beyond the normal for bandits to pretend that they are dead bodies lying on the road.
Okay, so what I'll do is I will...
As you all stop, you all each, if you look ahead, you'll notice this body, this figure lying on the ground as well.
With the distance of my vision, can I tell anything more than they could?
You would not have to worry about your dark vision, or you're not,
Yeah.
It's daytime. There's enough natural light for you to be able to see normally, but it's just dark. It's just gloomy.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Then go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say it is. It doesn't feel right. The sun doesn't come through. If it does break through, it's very briefly, and it's maybe one stream of light, but you don't see it very often. So it's not dark. It's not like night.
It strikes me as odd with it being the season that it is, or as much as I can with what the season was back where we were.
Which
is this
fallish.
Like a winter's gloom almost?
It's just a gloom. But okay, that weird section between fall and winter where it starts to get dark,
like gray all the time.
Gray. Yeah. That's what you're in the middle of right now.
Yeah.
Constantly.
And I don't get the impression that this is something that Arl is doing.
No.
Okay.
Anytime you all have tried to connect with any of your patrons or your gods or anything else, you have been met with silence.
Okay.
Remember how we, you did the prayer in the first session and nothing?
Yeah.
Enoch, I believe that we had something with you and you got nothing.
Yep.
I went to... Go ahead.
Your Now, don't get me wrong. The powers that were bestowed on you from your gods or your patrons or anything like that are still there, and they still work. It just doesn't feel the same. Kind of gives you the willies.
I will approach the body.
Okay. Enoch, what do you want to do?
I was gonna say, is there a rock on the ground?
There are plenty of rocks on the ground.
I was gonna pick one up and throw it at the body before we got too close.
Okay. Make a strength check. Just do it. Just do it.
Okay. Nat 20.
Holy crap. You pick up this rock and you wing it. And you wing it a little harder than you meant to. And it goes right past Elentil and Ismark and Arena, and you all see this rock just come out of nowhere, and you hear it thump. And you drill this sucker right in the back of the head. What you think is a hooded head. And it doesn't move.
I continue to approach the body.
As you get closer, you notice that there is the distinct stain of blood on the cloak. And you get a little closer, and it is the left. It's laying on its right shoulder, like on the ground.
Yeah.
The left side of it is shredded. And as you look at it, you can tell that the cloak is not the only thing that's bloody and shredded on this. It is a body that has been torn apart by something. You're not really sure what.
I wave Mulgar forward.
Okay.
My services are needed yet again.
And I gesture to what I've seen, and I'm like, you know nature better than me. Any idea what did this?
Oh, friend, I have no idea. I'm just kidding. I'll make a roll.
Make a nature check.
18.
It looks lupine in nature.
Does it look fairly fresh?
No. It's probably a couple of days old. Maybe a week. To get anything else like that, you would need a medicine check.
Can I do one of those?
Yeah, if you like.
14.
Looks. From what you can tell, it is probably up to a week old. Looks like it just got this person got just shredded by something. Like you said, you made a nature check. You do see lupine like tracks around, and there are bite marks as well as claw marks all over it. Over this person, can't really tell what they were, if anything, So it was something did a number on them.
So those tracks aren't fresh either, correct?
No.
Okay, I would relay that to the party then about the lupine-esque animal.
At this point, I want to search the body.
Okay, make an investigation check. Was somebody else saying something? No.
18? No, 19.
19. What you find is a pocket full of, not full, but you have about 10 copper now. And you roll it over, you find a lot of offal and intestines. Just gore. There's not much left on this person.
Yeah.
Enoch.
Can we see if there's footprints leading to or from beyond, like, larger than my hand?
I'm going to go ahead with his nature check earlier and tell you, there are to and from, and they're pretty big wolf prints.
Okay.
But they're old.
Are we headed? Well, granted they're old, but are we
They're
heading that
going
same direction?
out to the woods on either side of you.
Okay.
On both sides?
Yeah, well, yeah, like it came out of one side, did the deed, and went out to the other.
Okay.
It was a drive-by wolfing. Ismark looks at each of you and says, I understand. This is super disturbing for most of you. It is something that, unfortunately, we have come to grips with here, but we must be on our way. I'm afraid that we may end up like him if we tarry any longer.
I gesture for him to lead on.
He puts his arm kind of around Irina and just brings her up to him, so she can walk next to him. And he continues walking, and you all feel like you walk for several miles through these woods. You hear in the distance, not close, but in the distance, you hear the distinct howl of a wolf and the chittering of something that you don't know what it is. As you continue walking, you hear multiple sounds coming through the woods. What may be bats, rats, anything like that. It's, this place comes alive at times. And then other times as you're walking along, you notice that it's dead silent. No wind, no noise, no howls. Through each passing hour, it changes. And it's very unsettling. Isval goes to Irina's pack and he starts digging through it. And he pulls out a almost like a cheesecloth, and he closes it and he starts breaking off bread, and there's some meat, salted meat in there, and he breaks it off and he hands it to Irina, and then he says, "I suggest we eat our lunch on the road and keep going." And he starts eating and walking at the same time. I'm going to take it for granted that each of you have done the same thing, is get some supplies out of each of your pack and nourished yourselves. I spilled soda on the floor. That's what I'm doing, is cleaning it up right now. I apologize.
You're good.
The road curves around. It comes straight, and then you've walked around a curve. And as you come around this curve, you notice that it starts curving back to the left again. But there is a break in the woods.
Hairpin?
Pardon me?
Like hairpin?
No. It's not what you would call gradual, but it's big enough. It's wide enough to see. Definitely not hairpin. But you come to as it starts curving back around to the left, to the south, I should say. As you're going around, it would be to your left, but it's going to the south. There's a break in the woods, and you are led beside the river once again. And Irina stops and just looks at the river for a moment. She gives a slight smile. And she says, "Father used to take me fishing when I was young. And we'd sit on the riverbank and fish." And then the smile fades. And she just shakes her head and continues walking again. As you continue... I'm sorry?
Raven anywhere nearby?
You don't see it.
Okay.
But if you want to make a guess, go for it. Or make a guess. Make a check.
Yeah, I'll look.
Okay.
6.
No, you don't see crap. That river's pretty.
Think about how pretty it would be frozen over.
As you continue walking, you've come to a fork in the road. It's a crossroads, to be honest with you. It goes north through the woods a ways, or it goes up a hill to the south. And he looks, and Ismark says, to the left, to the south. It is a longer road, but it will take us to the bridge that we need to cross to get to Vallaki. Well, further down the road to Vallaki. We have a ways to go still. To the north is another path. It will take us by the Seer Pool. There's always Vistani there. Most of them are they're good people, hard workers. But just like anywhere, there are a few bad apples that tend to spoil the barrel. I'd rather not put up with anyone. So I would like to go south and around, through the woods back that way.
I look at him and I say, we actually have business at the Seer Pool. Some of our belongings were stolen from us. And
he frowns.
The man who took them told us that, it implied that Madam Eva at the Seer Pool had business with us. So I suspect that if we go there, we will also find our belongings.
Well, it is a bit shorter. Then we go.
I'm saying also think about it. There's more people there. Safety in numbers.
Yes, but I do not know them.
We don't know you.
You didn't know us. You trusted us.
We'll go. And then Irina just kind of smiles a little bit, and it's not lost on her that you all have some sort of influence over her brother. As you go closer to this crossroads, as you're coming up, you can tell that it splits. As the fog breaks, standing at this crossroads, an old wooden gallows. I'm sorry?
I'm talking to Felix. He's trying to stand on my keyboard tray.
An old wooden gallows creaks in a chill wind that blows down from the high ground to the west. A frayed length of rope dances from its beam. As you could tell, the well-worn road splits here. And you can see there's a signpost. It's broken and rotted. But it points off in three directions. Barovia Village to the east, which is back behind you. The Seer Pool to the northwest, to the north. And Ravenloft / Vallaki to the southwest. The northwest fork slants down and disappears into the trees, as we said earlier, and the southwest fork clings to an upward slope. So as you're going south, you're actually going up a mountain. Across from the gallows, a low wall, crumbling in places, partially encloses a small plot of graves, shrouded in fog. Yes. What is Ellentil?
So you just referred to Vallaki and Ravenloft like they're synonymous.
No, it's much like most signs. If they're on the same road, they'll say Ravenloft / Vallaki.
Yeah, okay. That was my next question. Was it more like a highway sign? Like you get off here.
It is. This is definitely a highway sign.
Boone, but you're still 270 miles away from Boone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And he goes, well, off we go. And he heads off toward the northwest. It's actually dipping down a ways. And
I start whistling back.
Goober.
A pack of angry wild wolves comes and attacks you.
Ellerin, as you're walking you hear, as it brushes the back of your neck into your ear, across your ear, you hear your name. Elrin. And it sounds like it's coming from behind you.
Being used to like evil entities and stuff like that I've dealt with in the past, I probably wouldn't pay it any mind to give it any like gratitude kind of.
Oh, okay. And as you continue walking without paying it any mind, you hear it once again, a little stronger. Elrin. Keep on walking. Okay. No curiosity whatsoever. Man, Elrin's a stone wall. Dang. All right. As you continue walking down this encampment, you cut through the woods again. You hear a wind whistling through the trees, through the dead leaves and the branches, but no animals, no anything like that, no wildlife. But as you make it about halfway through the woods, you do hear something. A faint music coming from north of you, northwest, and you continue down. The trail that you're on gradually disappears and is replaced by a twisted, muddy path through the trees. Now, on this muddy path, deep ruts in the earth are evidence of the comings and goings of wagons. The canopy of mist and branches suddenly gives way, and you hear this music pour out, and then you start hearing voices laughing and talking. And you see black clouds boiling up. There's a clearing here, and next to a river that widens to form a small lake. And Ismark just says, the seer pool. There are 5. Well, actually, I'll just show you what you will see. And like I said, I'm going to display the map for everyone, and I'll display it for you. But if you all give me one more week, I'll have a better map for you guys. You all see this encampment, colorful tents and wagons off that you don't see from here. In varying sizes, and smaller tents that are pitched around. There are colorful wagons that are parked. A much larger tent stands near the shore of the lake, that red one that you see there. You see light spilling out of each of the tents. Horses that are drinking from different pools, one from the lake, one from another pool. You hear what now you recognize as an accordion that is playing in the air, with the singing of several brightly clad figures around a fire. This footpath continues beyond into the camp, or this path continues into a camp, into almost a footpath beyond. You can see it between the river up ahead and the forest edge. And Ismark looks at each of you and says, This is the camp of the Vistani. They sell their wares. They live here. They live there. They travel. As I said, some are good people. Some I wouldn't trust as far as I could throw them. But since we are here, and you apparently have business here, and all of a sudden you hear a couple of men yell out and go, "Ah, visitors!" And they walk up, and each of them have a tankard in their hand, and they're just dressed to the nines, bright colors and everything. You see earrings in one of them's ear. They are attractive men, actually. Yes, Enoch.
So, do their outfits match the people that we saw before we got here?
That is a really good question, and they do.
I I will, as we approach the encampment, I will call out for Radu.
The two men that look at that are greeting you, they walk up and they look at each other and they just laugh and they shake their head and they look at each. They look at you and say, "Please, Radu is not here. Radu is Radu. He is in the wind, probably. There's no telling how he has wronged you, but allow us. Please, come with us. Come into our camp and have some wine. Have some food. Rest your bones for a while. I mean, it couldn't hurt, right?" And as they're walking you in, each of them, they look around and there are men and women. There's probably close to 15, 20 people that are around. More than the minis I have out on the table. Just going about their camp duties. Cooking, bringing out drinks, bringing out food, chopping wood. Just generally, the day-to-day chores here. There's one wagon off to your left as you walk in. I realize I just left you all in a pile next to that tree, so ignore those. Those are all you, and you're just piled up on the ground there.
Well, dang.
As we're being escorted into camp, I look at I look at the two gentlemen escorting us, and I say, "Our reason for being here is actually twofold.
All right.
One was to try and find Radu because, as you said, he has wronged us.
Doesn't surprise us.
But we're also here to see Madame Eva."
Oh, Madame Eva. Hmm? And the man with the earrings looks at the darker skinned man next to him. That both of them, that greeted you, and he says, "They're here to see Madame Eva. Maybe they're like Rictavio. There's something up with that man, Rictavio. He's mysterious, a little dangerous. Do you know Rictavio?"
I shake my head.
I think you would like him. I think everybody would like him. But please, 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 I will inform Madame Eva of your presence here, and I will let her know that you are here to see her. But in the meantime, and he kind of snaps a little bit, and he says, come here. And a young lady brings up, he's like, "Please, show them to a table, to our table. Welcome them. They are our guests. Bring them some wine. Is wine okay? Well, bring them some wine. And then bring them a little bit of food if they're hungry." And you just see Ismark just like, "Oh, can we please leave?" And the young lady shows you just a gorgeous woman with dark hair and dark skin, with a bright yellow skirt and a bright red and yellow blouse on over top of it, with just sashes and tied around, and she has large hoop earrings. She's gorgeous, and she walks you to a table, and you see another man sitting there, and she she looks at him and says, "Hey, Henrik, get up. We have guests." And he is sitting there messing with a lock, and he is just fussing and at this lock. "Yes, Mulgar."
So before those nice gentlemen walk away to go talk to Madame Eva, and before we walk to the table, can I ask them a quick question to inquire to them and Madame Eva if they have like an extra cart and maybe some horses that we could take, or some type of extra carriage that maybe we could pay for or rent or something to make our travel easier?
He looks at you and says, "I'll ask, but I don't know if you can afford our prices. But I'll ask." And he walks off just grinning. "Yes." No. Do not set anything else up. Actually, do what you want.
As we're being seated, I look at Ismark and I say, "I understand that we're in a hurry. I understand the urgency of our mission. But just as if you push a workhorse too hard. They will not be able to work as hard the next day. Rest is key.
I understand this.
And here we are in numbers. It would be...
We don't know what numbers we have, and I understand, and I don't mean to push you, but my sister's life is in danger. And Irina says, Ismark, and she puts her hand on his shoulder and says, please just listen. I'm fine.
I put my hand up knowingly and explain that as soon as we see Madame Eva, we will be on our way again. And at this point, I want to go find a quiet spot to pray.
Okay. If you look at the map, probably closer to the pool off to the right.
Down by like this rock plateau type deal, like
that would
the
be
triangular
the best way.
pool.
Right next to that tree.
I go there.
Okay.
And
are the
assuming that there's time, I would like to spend an hour and 10 minutes there.
You're probably going to get interrupted.
Okay.
But we'll play it by ear.
Okay.
This. The rest of you're all sitting at the table they showed you to?
Free food, why not?
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody's good?
Yeah.
Each of
I
you
just realized
sit
my mic
down,
was muted.
and there's a man there, Henrik, as you know him by name, graying on the sides, but long hair pulled back in a tight ponytail. He looks at each of you, and he's dressed brightly as well, and he says, it's good to see visitors around, and he's messing with this lock, and he just swears at it a little bit, and then he looks up, and he sees Enoch, and he goes, Enoch, you sir, what is your name?
The name's Enoch.
Enoch. That is a great name. My name is Henrik, and he has this lock. I mean, it just looks like a simple padlock, and he goes, you seem like you like a good mystery or maybe a puzzle. And this lock, and he puts it on the table. And he goes, I want to show you something. And he pulls out a small dagger. And he goes, wait. And he puts his finger over the lock, and he jabs his finger with the dagger and just brings out a drop of blood. And he takes his finger and he squeezes it. And it drops it onto the lock, and the lock actually pops open. And he goes, this is a very secretive lock that only I know about, and well, everyone at this table knows about now. I found it in Vallaki, but I have no need for it. I have good locks, and I wondered if, since you look like you like a good mystery, I don't know how it works other than you drop blood on it. I don't know where it came from, and frankly, I don't care. And but I'm willing to part with it. Are you interested?
Don't have a need for a lock right now. If you can see, like, all I've got is this bag.
But for the simple price of 5 gold, you can have a magic lock to lock a door on an inn, or lock anyone that you see fit into a room. Prisoners, no, only of the bad ilk, that is. And I see in your eyes you're very good. Yes, you, young lady. What? What is your name?
So does it? I'm Kaylin.
Kaylin.
So does this only unlock with your blood, or does it unlock with anybody else's blood?
And he says, that's a very good question. You are bright. And he locks it, and he goes, would anyone like to try? You do not have to use my dagger, and I will not stab you. And he puts the little dagger away and goes, go ahead and try it. Just a little bit will do. Anyone?
I will volunteer as tribute.
You're
Better than rock,
a
paper,
large
scissors.
man. Do you have a dagger?
No.
He pulls his dagger out and he wipes it on his pant leg, and he thumps it into the table and goes, "Please, be my guest."
I'll just bite my finger really hard.
Whoa! You are a savage. I love it. So you bite your finger hard enough. I'm not going to make you take any damage from that. And you want to drop blood onto the lock?
Yeah.
You drop blood on the lock, and it, ping, pops right open.
How do I feel?
Like you bit the piss out of your finger.
Yeah, I'm still good. I don't.
Okay.
Let me tell you this.
I'm sorry?
And I'll look to Enoch and I will say, this lock is worthless. If it can open with anyone's blood, it doesn't lock anything at all.
Well, large one, let me ask you a question then. Who would think to spill blood on a lock to open it?
I would now.
You
we
would
all
now,
know.
yes. But how could you tell this lock from any other? It looks the same.
Does it have blood all over it?
Well, you
Can
would
you
you
see
would wipe
the
it clean.
blood
Maybe
on-
you're not as bright as I thought. I kid.
Well, I don't remember you wiping it clean.
And he takes a big draw off of a cup of wine that's in front of him. He goes, "Okay, 2 gold."
I'll pop the stopper on the grape mash number 3, and I'll refill his mug, and then drink some of mine.
Mogar would like to ask him, how about a wager? Maybe a game of chance, perhaps?
What kind of wager?
So he's going to look to Enoch and he's going to be like, we should play, I don't know what the game's actually called, but you know that cup game where you like take an object like a pebble, you put it under the cup, you're like, find the cup, you know, where is it? And you
Yeah.
shuffle it up.
The
I would,
shell game.
The shell game? Yeah.
Okay.
so
So,
if he,
this is
agrees,
interesting. I like this. Okay. So we're going to do contested rolls if you want to do this. And he goes, "I like the way you think." And he goes, and he gets up and he runs into a tent, and he comes back and he has 3 cups. He has 3 clay cups. And he puts them each on the table and goes, "You shuffle, I guess, correct?"
yes.
Okay. So, if you win this one, I will take it down to 1 gold. So I need you to make a
actually
dexterity
have-
check. Huh?
So like a sleight of hand check?
Dexterity.
Okay, well, I would like to get Enoch to do it if possible.
Oh, I'm playing against him,
Yeah.
huh? Okay.
I want
Then let's
to-
raise the stakes since you have since you have what I would think would be a ringer.
A ringer.
We have one. We play the best of 3. I go,
Okay.
you go, and then we just keep going until one of us reaches 2.
That's fair. But so I have an action. So each time that it's Enoch's turn, I want to grab his shoulder and tell him to focus, and I want to cast guidance. So you get to add an additional D4 to
Okay.
all of your abilities. Choice, but I'm
So
going to cast it each time it's his turn.
I want to know if you're doing that out in the open or you're going to try to hide it.
Man, how would he know?
Because it's verbal and semantic.
It's a verbal and somatic spell.
Right.
All right, I'll try to hide it then.
Okay. I'm letting you count the shoulder grab as your somatic.
The
So-
verbal could be focused.
I need you, Tanner, to make a sleight of hand check. And Enoch, Enoch, I need you to make a dexterity. Just roll dexterity for me, and do it after his sleight of hand check.
Okay.
I got a 4.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Straight dex.
Yes,
Straight
dex
dexterity
plus
check?
4. Roll a d4.
Okay, so 21.
And the smile leaves his face. And he looks at you and says, "You're good. But something tells me you're not that good. You see, I don't know where it went. I'll be honest with you. Because I, unlike you and your friend, am an honest man.
Called out.
I don't know what you cast, but I know you cast something.
Oh,
We Vistani know the ways of magic. And the Vistana, you don't want to cross them, Madame Eva being one of them. You could find yourself, shall we say, cursed. Or you could see the evil eye. So I'll let you go again. But you are not to touch him or say anything. And he looks at you, Mulgar. Yes.
for this next one, can I use my performance skill to kind of like put some flourish on it?
Okay, let me do it this way then. If
I'm
you
not trying
roll
to
high
steal
enough
what's underneath.
performance, I'll let you add 2 to the score. Fair
Okay.
enough?
Fair enough. So roll the performance, then the dex check.
Then the dex. Actually,
Yeah.
before you tell me what you got in performance, if you roll high enough on your performance, I'll let you do with advantage. If you
Fair
roll
enough.
low on your performance, you'll have to do it at disadvantage.
Okay, so the performance check is 17.
Okay. He's impressed. So go ahead and roll with advantage.
Ooh, Lord help me. Uh, 12.
12? Okay.
Yeah.
And he smiles. And he looks at you. And he says, he points to the middle one. And then casually moves his hand over to the one on your right. And pulls the cup up. And there lies the lock.
Wait, we're doing this with the lock?
Oh, not the lock, but whatever you... Yeah, the pebble.
Okay. I was like,
there.
that pretty big
Yeah,
cup.
it's a pretty big thing. I don't know why I said lock. Yeah, he rolled really high on his perception. He goes, my turn.
All right, am I playing against him on this, or is Mulgar?
You are. Oh, he doesn't trust Mulgar.
Yeah, I sacrificed you to the wolves. My bad.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, go ahead. Roll a perception check.
Yep. All right, 15, I think. Yeah.
Which one do you think it is? Left, middle, right?
Well, if I've been watching the entire time, we'll go left.
You reach out and you pick up the cup. You put your hand on it. And it's almost like that scene in Maverick. The movie. Y'all too. Yeah, never seen that.
I've seen it.
But you look at it and you just kind of take a deep breath. You pull the cup up. And nothing's there. And he looks at you and says, this has been fun. In fact, it's been so much fun. Take the damn lock. I have no need of it. But you
Okay.
and you are not to deal or trade with anyone in this camp. Those are my terms for winning. You're here to see Madame Eva, I know. I will never stand in anyone's way of seeing Madame Eva. But my terms are, you lost, you buy nothing here. You trade nothing
Hold on. Before this whole thing happened, I shared my wine with you.
I have plenty of wine.
I don't know what he's doing, so why am I guilty of this?
You knew what he was doing.
No, I didn't. Persuasion?
Sure. Go for it.
What do we got here? All right, 17.
He goes, okay, you may trade a little, but not him. And you are not allowed to trade for him.
That's fine. How about you and I trade more wine?
He goes, don't take this personally, but your wine is garbage.
That's fine. Show me what you got.
And he says, what do you have? What do you have to trade for it?
My taste buds right now, I can still taste things.
Well, that doesn't, no,
I'm
that
trading
doesn't,
experience for experience. You know this is crap. Let me experience something better then.
okay. I like
all.
you. And he pulls out a bottle from underneath the table that he's been hiding. And on the label, you see Red Dragon Crush. And he says, this is Red Dragon Crush. It is one of the best wines that you could find in Barovia. And possibly in this whole realm. But if you really want the good wine, you cannot find it here. You must find it other places. I will just leave it at that. But keep your eye out for Champagne de l'Estampe. But he pours he takes one of the cups, flips it over, pours you some Red Dragon Crush and says, on me. And he gets up and he says, now if you'll excuse me, I have more wine to drink. And he turns around and walks off. I think we lost
somebody.
Elrin. If I'm not wrong. Okay.
Morgar would like to, if possible, go to where Elentil was, and unless you're going to talk to somebody, and sit down, and probably just wait there until y'all get done, and say like, "I have made a terrible mistake. I must think on it."
Elentil, what are you doing at the pool?
So I have a question
Okay.
for you. I'm gonna put it in.
Okay, like a whisper?
message to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. Kaylin, what's your take on all this?
I'm kind of overwhelmed, just trying to figure out what just happened, and just taking everything in. And I'm looking around to make sure there's no danger while all this craziness is going
Make
on.
a perception check.
Well, 12.
You see a lot of partying. You see a lot of people going about their daily. Not a lot of partying. I shouldn't say it like that. You see a lot of you see happy people going about their daily jobs, chores, everything like that, and they are genuinely. You can tell they are a genuinely happy group of people. That's about all you can see.
Okay, that's just my thought as this entire encounter with everything's going on.
I just sent you the message, Ronnie. Can I do either of the things that I messaged you about?
Yes, you can do either because they're within the realm of possibility.
Okay. D&D Beyond is not letting me add it.
Do
So
regular.
we'll have to,
Oh, I see what you're saying. Just write it on a sheet if you've got a pencil and paper sheet, and then just remind me you have it.
okay. So that's what I've been spending my time doing.
Okay.
If it's been long enough, by the time Mulgar gets here, I would like to have. I would just kind of like to be sitting here, talking to my fox.
Okay. I would say with what all happened and the general trying to get acclimated and people talking to them, you would have enough time to do that. You do have an Arctic fox now that is sitting in front of you, and you're just talking to him, her, it, whatever.
And I, one of the things that I took at second level lets me cast Speak with Animal at Will. I'd forgotten about that.
Okay.
So I'm actually like talking to my fox.
Your familiar would know what you're saying anyway,
Okay.
because that's just kind of how familiars work.
Okay.
But now you can actually have a conversation back and forth.
Yeah. That was my goal there.
Yeah. So
Was
what are you
the
saying
back
to
and
your
forth
fox?
communication. I'm just kind of just having a casual conversation. I tell him about the dream I had about the raven seemingly flying into the window at Mad Mary's to presumably stop us from what we were trying to do, and that seems to have been following us around.
Okay.
So that he can be on the lookout for the raven as well.
Your fox is like, that's weird, yo. Yeah, man. I mean, I can help you out as much as I can, but I don't know what's going on. You brought me in this weird world, dude. This place is not right.
Yeah.
That's weird. And
At least we're here together.
Mulgar, yeah, no, absolutely. You know, I got you. Mulgar, you hear Ellentil chittering and talking in fox to this fox. Not really. You can just understand the fox. You hear the fox barking, you know, like foxes have really like
it's almost like husky meets
and it's
like
a little
small
unsettling
child.
too. Yeah, it's a little unsettling at times too. But you do hear this fox barking, and you see Ellentil. She's talking to it just normally, and as you walk up, you hear in the distance around the wagon, the brightly colored wagon, one of the wagons, but the one that's the special one. You hear, "Visitors, Madam Eva will see you now. Please come forth."
So I stand up, and my fox kind of hops up and like sits on my shoulders, like around the back of my neck.
She's mink stolen it. Okay. So
And it's still very much alert and everything.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
just- yeah.
Oh yeah. I can't help but see that scene in Beetlejuice though, where the things come alive and start dancing.
Yeah,
and stuff. Yeah. Near the wagon, I'm sorry.
Oh, as we start walking, I was gonna look at Mulgar and ask if he was okay. Because I've slightly heard that he said, you know, he made a mistake, but I want to make sure he's okay as we're walking to go to meet the carriage.
Mulgar would would tell you I'm okay, but I may have did something, as you've seen, that I should not have done, and just feel a little bad. And he'll keep.
You told me this like when you came over to me, right?
Oh yeah, I told you that I'm like a terrible comeback man.
As we walk back, like I'm just reassuring you, and it's like, if I had been in your shoes, I probably would have done the same thing.
It was all for fun and games, but
Hey guys, I wasn't supposed to meet her. Am I still going with, or do you want me to wait outside? Like,
No, everybody's meeting her.
I never got that message.
Oh,
I thought Radu told us that.
yeah.
No, he just grabbed my, took a swig of the other bottle I had and grabbed my crap.
It was meant for all of you to meet up with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry
Fair
that didn't come across.
I would have written it down if so.
I'm so sorry.
All right. Cool.
As you walk closer to this, you see this round table that's sitting out, and you see a man standing next to an older woman. She is a bit bent over. She has long, slender fingers. And in those fingers, she has a deck of cards, a worn deck of cards. And she is slowly shuffling them. And with a flourish, she puts them on the table. She pulls 2 lanterns out and puts them on the table on either side. And the table is now covered in a black velvet cloth. In between these lanterns, you see a small crystal ball. And she looks up at you, and her voice crackles. It's almost like dry weeds, and she goes, "At last, you have arrived." And she starts cackling, laughing. And she stops in the voice. She goes, "I am Madam Eva. You." And she points a long, slender finger at Mulgar. And she flips her wrist around and she says, "Come here." And a man, one of the brightly dressed men walks over with a chair. And he sets it in front of her table. And he goes, "You're up, big man." And
I guess I'll walk up there.
She looks at you and she peers into the crystal ball and she says, "Mulgar, correct?"
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
I have a question. Can I see in this crystal ball right now too?
Yeah.
What do I see in it?
You see a crystal ball.
Go on.
And she says, "Such a young man making his way in the world, trying to make it on his own. You have nothing to prove. But you must prove it to yourself, Isa. This, while you're here, is a chance to do that. You will find strength from within and from your friends." And she kind of shoos you away. And then she points at Kaylin. With that long, slender finger, she says, "Come here, young one."
I go sit down.
You are.
Is my typing too loud?
No,
I can't hear it.
I can't hear it at all.
Okay.
She says, "Kaylin." And she looks into her crystal ball again. She goes, "Oh, you are searching for something physical. A relic. I'm sad to say you will not find it here. But I will tell you this." And she looks off into the crystal ball. You will find what you are looking for in the town of ships on the coast. And then her brow furrows and she looks at you and says, you have caught his interest. Be careful. He likes you. And it's never good when he does. And then she shoos you away. And then she points at Ellen Till and says, come here. Come here. Assuming you walk up.
Yeah, I approach.
She peers deep into her crystal ball and looks at you and says, Ellen Till. She with a warm heart from a cold land. Things are not what you think. Things are not as they seem with you. You are something vastly different than what you want to be or think you are. But you are still good. Remain that way. And it will get you through this land. And then she waves you off. And then she points at
I
Enoch.
did not know I could type this fast.
And she says, come here.
As I'm walking up, I'm digging through my pack. And before I sit down, I pull out one of the medical kits and I hand it to her. And I say, this is for the perceived slight that the big guy might have done earlier.
Take it away. I do not need that.
Fair enough.
And she peers deep into her crystal ball and says, Enoch, you... What you seek is a little closer than what than you would realize. Who you seek, but further than you may know. Stick with her. And she shoos you away. And finally she looks at Elrin. And she beckons Elrin, and Elrin walks close and sits down, and she says, Elrin, make sure that the hunt for evil does not turn your heart evil in the long run. Be true to who you are and not what you are expected to be. And she waves her off, and she actually takes the crystal ball in those hands, and while she looks like she wouldn't be able to lift anything, she picks it up like it weighs nothing and puts it on the ground next to her. And she grabs the worn set of cards and she presents them to you, and she starts shuffling and shuffling and shuffling. And she sets them down and she goes, I read the Taraka deck for you. And I will make sure that you know where you're going. There are things that have to happen here before you could ever wish to take on the task that is at hand. You have met Strahd. You have met the devil. And it is up to you now to free this land. You are here for a reason. And she shuffles the cards one last time. She puts them on the table. And she says, I read for you. And she takes one card out and she puts it at the top, or in the middle of the table. And then she takes another one and she places it off to the left of that. And then she takes another one off the top and places it off to the right. And then one at the bottom. And then one up in the corner. And she says,
How many does she lay out altogether?
5.
Okay. In how many rows? 2 rows?
It makes a cross. So 1,
Okay.
2, 3,
Okay,
4.
okay.
And then 5 is up in the right-hand corner.
Okay, so there's the one in the middle. There's
Well,
the 2 to
the middle
either
of the
side
table.
it.
So
Yeah.
basically, what you're seeing... Ooh, why did I look at myself like that? Is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then one up here. Does that make sense?
Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3,
1, 2.
4, and then the top right.
Okay, look at my hand.
Okay, yeah.
Spectacles, testicles, wallet, watch.
Okay.
And then one up here.
Okay.
Pulled an Austin Powers on you. Sorry. I don't know why I cracked myself up with that. Terrible,
Okay.
terrible.
Can you tell so what I'm doing in the note sheet is I've created a table so I can put these in the correct order.
Yeah.
Can you just tell me which card is which? as
Oh,
we move
absolutely.
into it?
Yeah, absolutely. The first one she draws at the top of the cross.
Okay.
And she flips it over. And she presents it up. And she says, Master of Stars. Mystery and riddles and the unknown. Those who crave magical power and great knowledge is where you'll find the first step to defeating Strahd. Mystery and riddles, the unknown. Those who crave magical power and great knowledge. And she goes to the bottom. And she flips it.
And says balls. Sorry.
Son of a... No.
Well, spectacles, testicles.
Oh. Yeah, I should have seen that one.
Yep.
Boo. I completely forgot where I was going with this.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
You're fine. Oh, she says to you, Monk. And she looks at Kayla and goes, not you.
Oh. Okay.
Actually, she doesn't say monk. I'm sorry. That is not what she says at all.
Are you wearing a USPS t-shirt?
Yes, yeah. It was $5 at Walmart.
I mean, I'm wearing an X-Men shirt.
Yeah.
Gotta love Loot Crate.
Oh, yeah.
The t-shirts are the only thing I miss about that subscription that I was paying altogether way too much money for.
She says, Monk, this card tells of a powerful force for good and protection. A holy symbol of great hope. The treasure you seek here is hidden behind the sun in the house of a saint. Then she goes to the left and she flips it. She says, Enchanter, this is a card of power and strength. It tells of a weapon of vengeance, a sword of sunlight. In this card I see a kneeling woman, a rose of great beauty plucked too soon. The master of the marsh knows of whom I speak. She goes to the right and flips it. Mists. This card sheds light on one who will help you greatly in the battle against the darkness. A Vistana wanders this land alone, searching for her mentor. She does not stay in one place too long. She has been where he has once been before. And then she goes to the last card up top. And she
Hold on
flips
just
it.
a second, if you don't mind.
Oh, no problem. Let me know if you need to repeat.
She does not stay in one place long.
And she has been where he has been before.
I'm good.
And she takes the last one, and I'm going to show you this one up close. And she says, Dark Lord. And a darkness just comes over her face. And she says, Your enemy, he is a creature of darkness, whose powers are beyond mortality. This card will lead you to him. He lurks in the depths of darkness, in the one place to which he must return. And then she takes a deep breath, and she lets out a slow rattle. And she says, This is what I have for you, and that is what you must do. And she waves you off and turns around, hunched over, and walks up the steps of her wagon. And she says, You have a long journey ahead of you. The gods be with you. They're not here
Courtney,
anymore.
the cat.
Got him.
So the gods be with you. They are not here anymore. And she opens the door to her wagon and goes in and shuts it.
Whoa. I have a question before she goes in.
She's gone.
I go in there.
Before you even get to the steps, 6
As
Vistani
he
men.
stands and heads that way, can I like try and hold them back?
You can try, but
like
6 Vistani men surround the door of her wagon and say, "We have seen people like you before. She is tired. She must rest, and you must not bother her." And then the 2 men that greeted you, that came in, and they look at you, and they say, "I would be calm if I were you, but I will tell you this. You have you've been given a great thing. You've been given a reading from Madame Eva. This, is wonderful. So, with what she has revealed, you must take it to heart. Remember her words. But tonight, we drink. And you stay with us.
What about the wagon and the horses?
We don't have any to spare. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
But we will
Not for
sell you
you,
one of our
Mulgar.
wagons and 2 of our horses for the low price of 600 gold.
Not worth it.
How about a game?
I'm out.
You are not to be trusted, and we're not to talk to you anyway. I forgot. With that, you see Henrik come out with 4 bottles of wine, 2 in each hand. And he hands 1 to Kaelin, and then he hands 1 to Elendil, and he hands 1 to Elrin. And he keeps 1 for himself, and he looks at you and says, "You have 1, Enoch." And then he looks at Mulgar and says, "You can share with someone." He pops a cork, and he takes a big swig, and he says, "You stay with us tonight. You eat, you drink. You listen to our stories. We listen to yours. And you rest." And Irina and Ismark, off to the side, stand. Ismark with his arms folded. Irina looking on with wonder in her eyes, just watching people dance and drink and talk and actually be happy. It's a foreign concept to her. And Ismark says, "Well, it is a bit late to get back on the road. It will be night in a couple of hours. And you all have been here been on the road. And the road does take its toll. So I want to know who's drinking with the Vistani tonight." Enoch, that goes without saying.
Mulgar would probably sit on the outskirts, probably
Okay.
look into nature, observe, maybe watch a little bit.
I'm gonna sit with Mulgar.
Okay.
And I'll take the bottle that I was given over and I'll grab 2 cups on my way over.
Kaelin?
I'll drink a little, but I want to go talk to Astani.
To the Vistani?
Or not Vistani, the homegirl.
Madam
Irina?
Eva?
Arena?
Yeah, her. Arena. That's the name.
Oh, Irina. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. Mulgar, on your way to the outskirts, before Elendil even comes with you, Elendil, you have a bottle of wine, and you're looking for Mulgar right now. We're going to say, Mulgar, you hear, psst, psst, psst. And if you start looking, you notice there's a hand coming out of the trees. And a woman, a beautiful dark-haired woman, pokes her head around. And she says, You, come here.
I'll move up a little bit. I'll go towards it.
She looks at you and says, I understand. Listen. And she looks to her left and her right and goes, the Strahd has minions in the Vistani. You should leave as soon as possible. And she's loud whispering to you. She goes, you will find allies and guidance at the Blue Water Inn in Vallaki. Beware. The devil's eyes and ears are everywhere. And she hears a twig snap as Elendil, even though you're light on your feet, everything around here is dead. You're going to make a little bit of noise as you walk. And her head snaps towards Elendil's footsteps. And she goes, remember, you will find allies and guidance at the Blue Water Inn. And with that, she raises both hands, and right in front of your eyes, feathers come out of her arms, and she morphs into a large raven and flies away.
So Ashley flies away.
And
like,
that's where we're going to end tonight.
Oh,
Yeah, as she goes away, I'm gonna like look and be like, "No, what is your name?"
I
And that's
completely
where we
forgot to
end.
take the battle map off, and people have been looking at the camp the entire time. Sorry,
Yeah.
but that's okay. But yeah, we're going to end the stream there, and I'm going to hit end. Bye, everybody that's